Yeah, look, I see the picture myself. And I say, when I invite you on the platform, invite anybody. This supposed to talk. We may not agree, we can agree, we disagree, but guess what? You're going to go through these bullet points. You're going to be able to express what you want. I'm not trying to stop you and say you wrong and nothing like that. I just play some of a
No. I asked you, brother, did you understand? Because I want you to understand the concept where I'm coming from about how our rights, our human rights are being, I want you to draw the inference between how our human rights are being neglected. And when we put all of the centerpiece on the internal, yes, my brother, we got some nasty stuff going on with us internally. The black woman is against the black man. We broke. We don't save no money. We look at all these people that got these PPP loans and I went to Miami getting these big old booties and you 50 and 60 years old when you could open up a business. I know Sister Achoti gonna talk about that. $20,000 and you ain't bought no land, but you got a set of perky titties, but you know you broke right now. And you 50 years old. I know some people that did this. So yes, we got issues in our community we gotta address. But we can't allow these internal issues to take our eye off the prize, and that's control. If you don't control your tax dollars, your tax base, and you don't have a political organ that allows you to redistribute wealth, power, and resources back to your people, we will be having this conversation in 2050.
Let me say this. I want first a shout out to Sojourner Life. Thank you so much. The light doing for the super chat. Really appreciate it. Love and support. Y'all support that brother. Subscribe to this channel. Let me say this. This is my mindset. Like when you work on a case, you do the research, right? Once you find the issues, you do the research. You compile the research with your sham. Then you litigate and you file in court, right? Once you file in court, you gotta wait till the decision come down. And what I'm trying to say, when you do that, it's still other things you gotta be doing. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
That's what I'm talking about with the inner stuff you talking about, and what I'm talking about. So I get what you're saying, but I don't file no litigation. Just sit right there, especially with something big like this. Like I feel like we have a tremendous case of human rights violations. I feel like capacity. Yeah, a great case. So it's not a miscommunication with me, but I would just feel a code have been saying. I want to just get a word in, you know. Cody fell asleep. Cody?
No, I didn't fall asleep, brother. I had my mute on both of my channels, so I had to go back and unmute myself on both channels. Shalom, sister. Thank you for everything that you said. I was just taking all of your knowledge in, and I thank you for sharing this with us on this day. And it is quite fitting that we're talking on the generational wealth building class or podcast right now, and you mentioned how there are nations of people who declare themselves to be sovereign or independent. You mentioned Lost Foundation of Islam, Republic of New Africa, and UNIA. And so they have declared their nationhood, from what I'm understanding. So what does that mean to us, and how are they treated differently now that they've declared themselves to be independent? And in the second part of that, are these people, are these nations or nationhoods found here in the United States?
Yeah, they're here, but we have to solidify it. It's incomplete because we have to have the consent of the majority of the population. We need 50 amongst all of these nations and the new nations that if someone want to go out and create a nation right now, do that. It's two nations that we need. One to practice internal sovereignty, one to practice external sovereignty. And I distinguish that for a reason. A lot of people want to go to Africa. That's your right. You can go to Africa. You can do all of that. It's called self-determination. There is no either or. You have a lot of people want to say, oh, we need. No, it's no distinction. You do what you want to do. You set up your nation. If you got the land or whatever have we can do that. But we can also practice internal self-determination right here. We can do that. The law allows us to do that.
So
and to your answer to your question, those nations are still being perfected because we have to have the consent of the population, of the majority of the population. Okay. So that's why we have to keep on. We have to have the majority of the population to withdraw their consent to this current parasitical relationship.
Okay, so my understanding is that the Most High deals with nations of people. And because we have not declared ourselves to be the nation of people that we call ourselves a chosen people, right? We haven't declared that to the powers that be and say that we are sovereign from the nation which they have forced upon us. My understanding is what you're saying is we have to declare that we're not part of the United States of America as a citizen of that nation. We are separate, set apart nation of people.
No. Let me explain to you. You. You're reconfiguring the relationship. The United States has us encapsulated as a simple minority. You're not giving up your citizenship. You're just laying that layer of protection down, of international protection down, that was taken away from us during slavery. Those choices that we had to assert collective rights during slavery. That's what we're doing.
Okay, so we're saying that, or so are we saying that we're still
be independent?
We're still going.
We're saying.
We're saying that we're still citizens of the United States, but we're a separate nation of people that's part of the United States. Is that what you're saying?
We're separate. We're carving out. We're carving out a legal, economic, and political space within the confines of the United States, specifically for ourselves, asserting those human rights that were skirted during slavery.
Okay, so
Elena,
that's what we're doing.
So then the power is in the numbers, in the people. And when we go to before the UN, and I heard Major mention the top five, right? And so if we
the UN is made up of more than the top five.
Let me. I was just saying about the top five that represents themselves, the nations that represent themselves in the United Nations. He mentioned those top five. My question to you is that if we can prove that we are a nation of people with the numbers, that would give us greater standing before those top five. Because we
you worded it perfectly.
We basically outnumber the top five. So there's power in numbers, is what you're saying. We have to have our numbers.
What I'm saying. Let me explain to you. We're not asking them anything. What we're doing is we're declaring it, and we're moving, and we're doing it. And we have to have the numbers over 51% to show. If you pull the Montevideo conventions, that tells you what are all these steps, what are all the factors that are needed for a nation. We need the consent of the population. That's what we need. Whether it's by a plebiscite vote, a verbal, we all get together in one place and somebody does a plebiscite verbally and we have it on film, or we can use declarations and set up an app where people can go online and withdraw their consent, or we have like paperwork where they can withdraw their consent and we input it in a database, or we have a major plebiscite. But it's not that we're going and asking anybody for permission. It's we're asserting those rights and we're asking those countries to recognize us. It's 192 countries. There are more countries besides those big five that you're talking about.
Right.
So we're not asking anybody. We're telling them what we're doing, and we want them to recognize our nationhood.
And even if they don't recognize it, that doesn't mean that we stop doing what we're doing to
That's
improve
right.
our way of life. We continue with that.
That's right.
And my sister, I did go over some of that information that you sent me. I don't know if you're going to share that information. I see one of the PowerPoints on the screen now. But I want to let the listening audience know that this sister has put in some work, and I've read over the documents that she sent to me that she put together herself. And this sister's no joke. She know her stuff, and the documents that she has put together could basically start a whole nation. With guidelines and the way that we should govern ourselves, the bodies of people that should be in place from president to 2 vice presidents. Sister, the work that you did on that was phenomenal, and I do understand your passion. And so I'm waiting for us to get into what we're seeing on the screen, understanding your human rights, because I think that once the people are able to see it for themselves, and the way that you so eloquently explained it, they will be able to more easily gravitate to what we need to do in order to promote our self-determination just by declaring ourselves a nation of people.
And it's all in the declaration. It's about we're not saying, and this is what I want to stress. We're not saying that we don't want to be a part of the United States because we don't have the resources to be an independent nation. And also, legally, that would threaten the United States territorial integrity. So we can't go out there saying, oh, we're going to be an independent nation, because that would be suicide. The United States has enemies. And if we mingle with those enemies, guess what? They'll look at us as a threat and they'll come after us. And that has happened in the past. So a free association insular nation gives us that protection that we need to control all of the institutions that we need, such as our own school system, such as our own criminal justice system, such as our own family and children services, such as our own economic system, our cultural sites, our Black historical towns. It gives us that internal sovereignty that we need, and that space we need to heal as a people. Okay? That's what practicing internal sovereignty will do for us. And also, it opens up the door for us to do trade with the Native Americans. We can do trade with the Puerto Ricans. We can do trade with the South American countries that are not hostile towards the United States. Look, this is an economic move as well.
All right, let me come in right quick. I want to first thank everybody for viewing. We just took off with the content. I didn't know that many people's going to be viewing this. But y'all please like the video and share it. I want to thank Achoti Tamar for coming in and co-hosting. I want to thank my special guest, my queen, my girl Elena. We be banging, but trust me, I concur with I concur with Cody. I seen the documentation. The sister put in real work. And I want y'all to pay attention to the presentation. I have to be leaving in 30 minutes, y'all. I'm late. Okay. So if you can't do your thing, I'm going to turn it over to you. No more questions or what have you.
Okay, will you please make the screen bigger so I can see it?
Yes, ma'am. I'm going to turn the yellow floor now.
And I'm not going to go through all of the presentation. I'll pull it up on my end, so I may disappear.
I'll swing it for you. If you want to swing it for you, I can switch it like that if you want me to switch it up.
Okay. Can you see? Can I see it now? No, I still can't see it on my end.
You can't see it?
No, you know I'm half blind. Let me see. Can I share mine? And let me see. Can I pull this up?
Let you read.
All right.
Let you read. I'm gonna just go to it.
Okay.
So
the name of this presentation is Understanding Human Rights. It's an introduction to important concepts and sources of law necessary to achieve self-governance, inclusive and rapid sustainable development. And here on the second slide, I outline some of the problems, and I'm going to go through them briefly because Major has to go. And some of the problems are the U.S. government's intra-constitutional and congressional solutions to U.S. Afro-descendants problems are inadequate, and we went over that. We suffer acts of attrition, crimes of humanity, absorption, colonization, forced assimilation, and it constitutes some of the most severe human rights violations facing us in this time. The root cause of human rights violations is the socioeconomic situation in the United States, where the state-sanctioned violence, colonization, and crimes against humanity are aimed and directed specifically at us. In addition to violence, African descendants experience mass displacements of populations and forced evictions. And this is happening all over the country, in all these counties and parishes. We can see this. So I want to talk about the sources of law that protects us and some of the concepts that protects us outside of the Constitution. And that is the International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights. We have non-derogable rights. Okay. The Declaration on the Granting of Independence to Colonial Countries and Peoples of 1960s. We have a political status that needs to be changed. It needs to be changed to indigenous status. Indigenous status means that we had a pre-existence here on this continent, in this area, in the United States before the settler government that we see here. And the political form that we want is free association. So I'm going to go over the political status and the political form. Political status form refers to a term of the art and not a fixed, widely used designation that describes a relationship between political entities and political identity. These terms vary from one part of the globe to another, owing to language distinctions and differences in ways power relationships are understood. The UN uses three primary terms: absorbed, integrated, associated, or trusteeship, or independent, that illustrate a political form. Indigenous status. Indigenous status. According to Jose Martinez Cabo's work definition, indigenous communities, peoples, and nations are those which, having a historical continuity with pre-invasion and pre-colonial societies that develop on their territories, consider themselves distinct from other sectors of society now prevailing on those territories. So what this is basically saying, that because our ancestors were here and we had a pre-existing territory, pre-existing existence before the United States set up its country, is that we are able to distinguish ourselves, and that gives us control of our communities. Free association nation status. Free association status exercise inherent powers of government, full internal sovereignty, government to government relationship. It gives us a government to government relationship. We'll have partial economic self-sufficiency because we have to re-erect our economy. And we'll be pursuing a new political status in free association with the United States government, and it ensures internal sovereignty, allowing internal control over land tenure, questions, education, health, and welfare, and it ensures the flow of funds and strategic security from the United States. So that means we'll have control over the basic institutions that we depend on that is now weaponized against us. General Assembly Resolution 2625, the Declaration on the Principles of International Law concerning friendly states and cooperation among states. General Assembly 2625 expands on the list of status options that serves as a full measure of self-government. Resolution 2625 recognizes the emergence into any other political status freely determined by the people as a mode of self-determination focused on two concerns: whether it should apply outside of the colonial framework, and when the oppressed minority groups' rights within a state, and external self-determination involves a group's right to statehood and independence outside of that colonial construct. So that would be outside of the United States. Now I'm going to talk about belligerent occupancy. Belligerent occupation refers to the transitional period following invasion and preceding the cessation of hostilities, such a situation impose a more onerous duties on an occupying power than on a party to an international armed conflict because of the complexity and more responsibility of administering a civilian population and its assets, economy, and natural resources, law and order, etc. We are in this transition phase because after 1865, we were never liberated legally, economically, or politically. And we're still suffering acts of attrition by these murders and different forms of internal and external violence. The Fourth Geneva Conventions, Article 6. The Fourth Geneva Convention ensures protection of civilians under occupation. Human rights law applies to all peoples in a territory. However, humanitarian law, the provisions of the Hague Regulations, and the Fourth Geneva Convention apply only to those individuals who qualify as protected persons. And that refers to us because we are occupied, we are colonized, and we do suffer apartheid. Protected persons are civilians who, at any given moment and manner whatsoever, find themselves, in the case of conflict or occupation, in the hands of a party to the conflict or occupying power of which they are not nationals. If you go back to the Dred Scott case, our rights have never been respected, and it distinguishes who we are. It distinguishes that we would never have a right that any of the Euro-American politically was bound to respect, and that has never been overturned. Article 49 of the Fourth Geneva Convention. Article 49, paragraph 6, prohibits the transfer of the occupied powers population into the occupied territory. That's one of the articles that we could use to deal with the illegal population transfer. Article 53 prohibits destruction by the occupying power of real or personal property belonging to individually or collectively to private persons or to the state or other public authorities or to social or cooperative organizations. Is prohibited. Article 27 presupposes a general right of free movement for civilian populations, and Article 27 ensures a range of rights regarding culture and family. Protected persons are entitled in all circumstances to respect for their persons, their honor, their family rights, their religious convictions, practices, manners, and customs. Articles 55, 59, and 60 require the occupying power to ensure the adequate food and water to protected persons and access to health care, including relief supplies. Article 65 through 68, 71 through 78 provides for due process, penal standards, and protections in cases of house arrest and internment. The benefit of perfecting a confederated nation state. These are the benefits. African descendants will have a political organ that focuses on their interests first. African descendants will have a legal and political mechanism for sound management of human capital, resources, wealth, labor, and our property. So, this is where I'm going to plug in my website. If you want any more information or like to take courses, go to the pendoforfreedom.org. You can download a membership form and pay the fee. You can download a declaration, sign it, and scan it and upload it. And if you register for classes, students will receive the syllabus, manual, and placed in an interactive classroom for free. And that's the end of my presentation.
That was beautiful. Appreciate that. Real time. I want to let you know, it is in the description It's in the description, so they shouldn't have to worry about looking it up. It's already in the description. All you gotta do is hit the description, and it'll pop, hit it up, and the link will pop up, and you can sign up. I gotta do the same thing too, though. I'm like, I do the same thing myself, and I apologize. I'm so busy. I really don't have that talk. I think you did a great job on my See Your Passion as well, and I got nothing but love for you. I love what you're doing. Keep doing it. Um, Cody, you want to say something too? I'm gonna go through the chat right quick, and I'm at the bounce. Take that mute off.
I'm multitasking. Yes, I took the mute off. Can y'all hear me, family?
Yeah,
Yes.
we just think, I just want you to give your last words to it, what have you. Go through the we're gonna go through the comments, see what they're talking about, and see if Atlanta want to address anything.
I'm gonna leave my family with this. After listening to everything Miss Elena said and all of your comments too, Major, I'm gonna leave y'all with Genesis chapter 15, and I'm gonna start at verse 13. And he said unto Abraham, know of a surety that thy seed shall be a stranger in a land that is not theirs, and shall serve them, and they shall afflict them 400 years. And also that nation whom they shall serve will I judge, and afterward shall they come out with great substance. So, my family, right now, today is the time and the hour. If we know that these are end times, and we know that we're the chosen people, how are we going to leave out of here with great substance if we don't declare ourselves to be a nation and claim what is rightfully inherently ours? And with that, I say thank you for tuning in to Generational Wealth Building through real estate. I want to thank my sister Elena for coming in and sharing this wealth of knowledge that she has with our people. If you have not been, you do not feel moved to do something to align yourself with a Black nation right now, something is wrong with you. We are the wheat amongst the tares, and it's time for us to separate ourselves and declare that before these other nations and before the Most High. I love you all with the love of Yahuwah. Shalom, family.
The Jays, why are so determined to label ourselves by groups, religion, political groups? Why is it so hard for us to just be black and proud? I saw unity, power, and love for each other, period. You want to answer that?
Yes, because that's not going to get us out of these genocidal conditions. You're relegated to a simple minority where you control nothing. You don't control your means of production. You don't control the institutions you depend on, and they've been weaponized against you. That's why. We just can't live off of emotion. We have to make some concrete moves. And we do need that unity. And we have to build that unity. That's something that we're going to have to do along the way. But this hour where we are right now, we have to go in for control. All of our resources are being absorbed and misappropriated. That's why.
Things, that's powerful. Stephanie, praise the Most High. May y'all protect and bless our brothers on Jim J. In fact, for life. Shalom. Shalom, family. Much love and bless to you all. Please stay woke, Black Power. Twine say, what's up, Brother Major? Pan in the room. How you doing? Glad you was able to tune in. Lisa Cobb said, I'm with you on this. I've always said that blacks are strategically placed in high positions to keep the masses. And whenever y'all want to comment, I just comment. I'm just going through the comments and what have you. So the health of the niece, Hara son or One Piece found major guest in chat who we all are being on our higher self. Real tough. Shine Light said, I agree with you, Miss Elena.
Thank you, my sister. This is the only way I see of us getting out of this mess.
Right. Black on party, Grand Rising fam. That's what's up. Let's just say Shalom, Major TVs, and Sister Queen, with Sister Queen Atlanta and beautiful people.
Greetings, Sister Leslie.
Freedom, educate, arise, reparation is what we need. Separation, equal liberation.
True.
All we need is about 500 blacks to come together and invest about 5,000 each, and we can buy what we want and help our people. Speak.
True.
We need to stop talking and put our money where our mouth is. Educate yourself, read and learn. Facts.
Facts. Can't argue with it.
Black Recorder, Black Anonymous 101, Black Politics 101. We need these titles to be instilled in our children.
True. Because they're going to be the ones to finish it up.
Only way we can succeed from this hellhole is to focus on one nation, claim our reparation, and move forward.
True.
They want your email, brother. Damn, say, can Queen Atlanta give her email, contact info?
I'm putting it in the chat.
Yeah, I appreciate it, sweetheart. Only we can fix us. Time is up. We need form a volume to put together a booklet on everything we need to teach our people. Real talk. Real talk.
We have classes, Sister Leslie. You should attend.
Go to the websites in the description. Factual feelings for the good of the nation. Real talk.
That's true.
See, Land, I agree 100%. My sister has been saying we should find a way to collect dollars from the 40 million black people a month. We will use the money for our community.
A national treasury. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am, my sister.
One nation, just be black.
That too.
Chancellor Williams' book with the master plan led it out on how to do everything she's speaking about, structuring black civilization.
That's right. We just need to modernize it. You know, our ancestors have laid out the plan for us, but we have to remember we're under new circumstances and we're in the 21st century, and we can do that.
Brother, man, I just registered at the Penal Center for Human Rights and Self-Determination website, Queen Porter and Brother Major. Thank you, brother, man. Appreciate it.
Make sure you send an email, brother, to pendo4freedom@gmail.com.
Just remember we're part of United Black Kimmy Nation.
That's true, sister. And you go ahead and perfect it.
Thanks, Major and sisters. Much love. Thank you for tuning in. Appreciate it. We're under systematic attack, so we must have a systematic defense. Major TV, thank you for the podcast and good information. Thank you for tuning in. You know what I'm saying? We really appreciate how you all are really just showing love and just listening to what we have to say, because we know y'all could be doing anything on a big old Sunday. You know, we all decided to be with us, and we love you for that. Real talk.
I sure do love the people. And thank you,
all the time. I know I didn't go through all your comments at the end of the video. I typically just pick comments, you know what I'm saying, that's asking questions, what have you. In the beginning, I do the shout out, but if I didn't shout y'all out, y'all know one, I got number love for you, baby. Thank you, true. But I want to first and foremost thank Queen Atlanta for coming on and just informing us. Just telling us to realize that we can claim our own. We don't have to put up with the nonsense no more. We have so much of data, so much evidence, so much of information to prove not just the United Nations, the world, how we've been mistreated, you know, which everybody noticed really, you know what I'm saying? And for this sister just to take our precious time to dedicate our life, having a family, working, providing, and share it with us. I don't know if anybody understands how hard it is to do legal research. It is hard. It's a lot of reading, a lot of books you gotta go through. Now it's online, you got Lexus Law and all, but you still do a lot of reading, you gotta do research, then you gotta do the writing. I took there's three parts of read on the law you gotta remember. You gotta first find an error. Second, you gotta research it. Third, you gotta write it. That's hard. You know what I'm saying? Everybody can't master three. Some people might read and research but can't write it. You gotta have good grammar. You know what I'm saying? You have to know about parallelism and paragraphs. You gotta have a point. You gotta know how to introduce. You have to know you can do it anyway. Introduce the law first, and then come with the facts, and then make a conclusion, or you introduce the facts and then the law. But at the end of the day, you gotta show first a violation, and then you gotta show the law. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And then you got the conclusion from it and make a poly gumbo, like, you know what I'm saying? So I understand that, y'all, and it's hard. It's really, really hard, and I commend, salute, and love you for that. You know what I'm saying? One legal mind to another legal mind. I commend you, sister, and I yield the floor you with your last words or whatever.
Well, love for your people don't cost you nothing. Love don't cost me nothing, and I love my people. And to the day I leave this planet, I'm gonna fight. I'm gonna make these people feel very uncomfortable until we get our rights. So I love my people, and I want to thank you. You have a very welcoming, inviting platform, Brother Major. You keep it this way. It's pure. Thank you for all you do. Thank you what you've done in fact, thank you for what you've done for this movement. You pulled it out of the gutter when a lot of people put it back in the gutter and walked all over it. Thank you for all you do. You don't have to do it.
Thank you, Lynn. I mean, I give it all to the Most High. I don't want none of the credit, you know what I'm saying? But I appreciate you recognizing it. I give it to the Most High. And it's people like you keep me inspired because you don't do it, you know what I'm saying? You do it because you love it, people. And I say, y'all know, I say it publicly a lot. I love black people. That's the reason why I do it. It's not for the money. It's not for the fame. I don't even want no title. In the day, I just want to be I'm all about what's right. And guess what? Y'all can be corrected. I'm not scared to say I'm sorry. I'm not scared to say sometimes I make mistakes. I'm not scared to admit that, there's nothing wrong with sometimes bearing the weight of what's going on and dealing with it. Understand it's gonna get tough. Sometimes you're gonna need a time out to get away and then come back with a stronger mind. And I just give it to the Most High. I just thank you. Of course, I think Cody, she's always been around. She's been doing her thing. She do a lot of research for me, you know what I'm saying? She helped with co-hosting and what have you, put out the news and whatnot. But I thank y'all. Got nothing but love for y'all. Thank y'all in the chat. Y'all like, share. If you're new to the channel, subscribe button, notification button. We dropping content. You got to come back and finish this. I think we should do a part 2.
Okay. And we'll talk about consent further.
All right. I don't want to cut it off right here. Shouldn't cut off right here. So I apologize. And you might go through the whole thing, but I had some line. It's going to be an hour. We were talking about a lot of stuff that I think we need to talk about. But I hope the people got the message. But if not, you can email me. Y'all should know my email, Majortv. Let's talk at gmail.com. I always have it in the comments or what have you. But y'all should know that by now. If y'all want me email, let me comment on this video or whatnot, you know what I'm saying? A code information as well as Sister Lane information is in the description. Thank y'all. We gotta go. Got nothing but love for you, baby. Thank you. Same for you, Cody.
The rest of your Sunday.
For sure, sweetheart. You have a blessing.
Shalom.
Take care. For real talk.